Hey everyone, this is Gleb Bakhmutov, and I want to continue working with Clipboard and Cypress permissions. So I have this test that I want to make sure works in Chrome browser. Right now it loads the HTML page, triggers mouse over so that the button to copy becomes visible, and when we click the button. And this uses the Clipboard API to write text into the clipboard. If I run this test in Electron, it passes as long as in interactive mode the page has focus. So notice that it actually copied the contents. Great. Well, can we check the clipboard from the test? And that's where there are differences between Electron and Chrome browser. To check the clipboard, we have to get the window, its navigator object, and its clipboard property object, and then invoke readText asynchronous function. And it returns or yields whatever the application has written into the clipboard. So in Electron, there are no problems accessing the clipboard and reading the text. Nice. Now imagine I switch the browsers to Chrome, and I'm going to use Canary just so it stands out. The same text kind of hangs. Instead of just giving permission to every origin to access the clipboard, Chrome browser, for security reasons, asks me, do you want to allow this origin, which is where Cypress is running, localhost and some random port, to access the images and text copied to the clipboard? If I do nothing, right, if I don't give permission, then the text just times out and fails because it did not get the permission. If I run the test again, notice it did not even pop a question. Instead, it thinks that I denied it access. I'm blocking this origin from the clipboard. I can see right here all the origins that I blocked. So if I remove it, it's going to ask me again whenever I run the test, do I want to allow? If I allow, definitely it has access to the clipboard. How do we know if we have a permission to access the clipboard? Well, there is in Navigator permissions object, and we can query it for specific permission. Here's the code to query the permissions. Get the window, get navigator.permissions object, and then invoke the query method and pass the permission that you want to ask. These permissions are available at Chrome website. That will return an object. In that object, there is a property state, which could be prompt, denied, or granted. And then we're just using scilog to print it. Let's see what we have. Right? Our test works because we granted the permission. If we go and modify permission and say manage, and let's say switch it to block, then our test gets the denied state for that permission, and there is no access to the read text. All right. So how do we avoid that pop-up, and how do we ensure that our test has permissions? Well, it's not a standard JavaScript operation. Instead, we have to send a special message. When Cypress runs and controls a Chromium-based browser, it uses a Chrome debugger protocol. Right now, Cypress uses it only for a few privileged operations like visit a site, set a cookie. But it's available for you to use for anything else. Here's how I will use Chrome debugger protocol using existing channel that Cypress opens when it launches a browser. So we want to call debugger protocol. So the first parameter to Cypress automation, which is quite undocumented command right now, unfortunately, is the command that we want to use, CDP. And then the actual Chrome debugger protocol object and method is browser.grant permission. So you have to go to Chrome debugger protocol website, look up the APIs, and then say, this is the command I want to call, and parameters is whatever parameters you want to pass. In this case, the permissions that I need in order to be able to read everything from a clipboard clipboard read write and clipboard sanitized write. Okay, and I can restrict the origins or URLs that have access to a clipboard to whatever Cypress is running at, which will be like localhost and random port. Now, this Cypress automation is an asynchronous command. It just returns a promise, but it's not part of normal Cypress chain because it's very low utility command. So I need to wrap it so that Cypress chain of command knows to wait for that promise to resolve before continuing and calling side window. So let's see how this works. All right. So notice, all right, even though this says that it's blocked, in reality, this origin already has access and it has granted because it set the permission right here before we ran. So this is how you use Chrome Debugger Protocol from Cypress using already existing channel for automation to grant browser permissions to access the clipboard and then use it to validate that application is really working.